They've made it very clear that they don't want us in their waters. Well, at the moment we're not in their waters, and we have no intention of entering the Canadian waters, but we are, however, in the Canadian Economic Zone. But because we're a Dutch registered yacht, we have every right of free passage in Canadian Economic Zones. We simply don't want to be in their territorial waters, and therefore their regulations do not apply to us. We can be here as an observer, but they're trying to intimidate us. They're trying to stop us from taking our footage. And during that one day that we actually witnessed the seal hunt, the Canadian Coast Guard icebreaker, the Grossier, has been coming closer and closer during the day, trying to block the sealing with their Coast Guard vessel by placing it in between us and the sealing boats. And while the day progressed, they kept coming closer and closer and closer. And during one of those encounters, they came so close that they actually ran into the side of my vessel.
Wow.
While they did that, on the inside of the ship, we had props fall down, glass broke, one of our frames got bent, and we got some damage. But fortunately, we didn't get any structural damage, so the vessel is still 100% operational. After we stopped that in the water, they backed up into us for a second time and rammed us again. But obviously, they're saying that we rammed them, which is quite insane, because it would be out of my mind to try to ram a Canadian Coast Guard icebreaker. They're many times heavier than us, then it would plainly be suicide to try to do that. So, but we have everything on video, and we're about to get that video off the ship, and that will conclusively show that Canadian Coast Guard was at fault here.
And will that video be available at the Sea Shepherd website?
Absolutely, yeah. That will be up on the website as soon as possible.
And that is seashepherd.org. I'm speaking with Captain Cornelissen. He's in Nova Scotia area right now. There is the seal hunt that just started in eastern Canada on the 28th, and already the Farley Moat, the crew, has documented acts of brutality and inhumane slaughter going on. Again, the quota of 270,000 harp seals to be killed this year is 5,000 higher than last year.
Yeah, we believe that at this point, by documenting the hunt, if we can get the evidence to convince the European Parliament to stop the import of seal products, we can shut down this hunt permanently, and obviously that's our main goal. But the seals that are being killed are between 3 weeks and 3 months old, so they're still very much babies. They're called beaters. They cannot swim. They're laying on the ice, pretty much digesting the mother's milk that's in their fat. And as soon as it's been digested, as soon as they can actually float, they are able to escape. So at the time that the hunt takes place, these seals are completely defenseless. They're laying on the ice, they can't get away, and they're basically being bashed over the head with a big stick.
My final question, Captain, is basically what can people here in the U.S. do? You said that in the 70s, the U.S. closed their borders to these seal pelts and other products. So we can't really boycott them here, right? Is that right?
No, the Canadian seal products cannot be boycotted because they won't be in the United States, but we do have a lot of possibilities to boycott, for instance, Canadian seafood. Canadian seafood industry is obviously linked to the seal hunt industry. And on our website, seashepherd.org, there's enough information about which products we can boycott to put more pressure on the Canadian government and the Canadian fishing industry.
Right, and in terms, you say the European Parliament will vote soon on whether to do the same, to ban Canadian seal products there?
Yeah, the Netherlands and Belgium and a few other countries already have stopped the import of seal products. And this upcoming vote, which is in June or July, will close the entire European borders, which, as I said, would be a complete closure of the Canadian seal hunt.
Right, and so how can we comment on that? Would it be helpful if citizens of the United States made comment prior to that decision?
Yeah, absolutely. If, any letters sent to the European Parliament, or even to European countries that are part of the European Union, any letters sent to these governments by people from the United States speaking out their outrage about this hunt, and that the European Union should do the same that the United States has done many years ago, would definitely help to get this ban into effect.
All right. Well, thank you so much for talking to me. I've been speaking with Captain Cornelissen of the Farley Moat, and he's with the Sea Shepherd Conservation Society. Hopefully, maybe we can do an update soon when you know more. And thank you so much for taking the time to be with me.
Welcome.
Good luck. Get out of the way of the storm.
Okay, my pleasure. Okay, bye.
Take care. As you heard, is documented already, even today, scenes of excessive brutality, as he said, observed seals being gutted alive, shot and wounded, and thrashing about in the ocean. In total, over 325,000 seals are being targeted this year. Sea Shepherd has been working to remove the markets for seal products, as well as mounting dramatic confrontations on the ice to physically save the seals from the clubs of the sealers. The seal hunt survives only because of subsidies doled out to the sealing industry by the Government of Canada. It has become a glorified welfare scheme, where in return for killing seals for a few weeks, the sealers can qualify for unemployment insurance for the rest of the year. In addition to the hazards of thick ice and nasty weather, the Sea Shepherd crew faced the threat of violence from the sealers and the threat of arrest under the Canadian seal protection regulations that make it a criminal offence to witness or document the killing of a seal without the permission of the Government of Canada. In 2005, 11 Sea Shepherd crew were arrested after being attacked and assaulted by sealers on the ice. Despite being struck by sealing clubs, punched and kicked, not one sealer was arrested for assault. The attack was videotaped and the sealers identified, yet the Royal Canadian Mounted Police stated there was insufficient evidence to charge the sealers. The Sea Shepherd crew were being jailed and fined for approaching within a half a nautical mile of a seal being killed. And just to interject here, that Canadian seal protection regulation is so just disgusting to me. The idea that these people that are there to document the hunt and try to ensure that horribly inhumane things aren't happening to these seals are being kicked, assaulted, attacked by sealers, by even this year being interfered with by the Canadian Coast Guard, because they're trying to ensure that these animals aren't being basically tortured to death. And it's called the Seal Protection Act, that these people that are there to defend the seals and protect them are being attacked with the Canadian Seal Protection Act. It's so ironic. Anyway, Captain Watson has been, and he's one of the founders of the organization, has been fighting the Canadian seal slaughter all his life. The commercial hunt was shut down in 1984 and resurrected in 1994. Sea Shepherd has turned its attention to the plight of the seals from out of the southern deep freeze of the Antarctic and into the northern freezer of eastern Canada. From saving whales to saving seals, the work of Sea Shepherd Shepherds of the Sea continues. Again, if you want to check out their website, seashepherd.org, for the Sea Shepherd Conservation Society. Read about the Seal Defense Campaign 2008 and their many other activities. They've recently had a number of victories around saving whales, defending whales. You can read about that and many of their other projects, including defending dolphins, and they have a campaign in the Galapagos Islands. They're on permanent patrol to help protect the precious marine ecosystem there. Anyway, there's quite a bit that they're doing, and there's all kinds of ways you can take action. And I'm sure ways you can donate to their efforts as well, if you would like to do that. seashepherd.org. Thanks for listening to this show, and to Free Radio Santa Cruz.